Sally Mai, Victor Kanzanza, and we're talking about the United Nations 70th Charter. We're also going to talk about the United Religions Initiative, which was started here in San Francisco as the charter was signed 20 years ago by then Bishop Bill Swing. Remind us, URI, what do we need to know?
Yes, URI has a great story, and Bill Swing is at the heart of it, because at the 50th celebration of the signing of the UN Charter in 1995, Bishop Bill Swing was asked to gather people of all religions for a celebration at Grace Cathedral. A wild idea, which he took on not knowing, as he says, what he was going to do with this, and created an extraordinary celebration to mark that occasion. It was at that time that he came up with the idea that the nations of the world would never be in peace unless the religions of the world were at peace. And so he launched into creating what has become the United Religions Initiative, a global grassroots movement in more than 85 countries, 700 grassroots groups working to bring people of all religions together to build peace in their communities and to build peace in the world.
And you're both a part of this. Sally, what's your role in this?
Well, I've had the extreme honor and joy of my life to have been there in 95 and 96 from the very beginning. So I have been a founding staff person and have been really just involved with the organizational development. And throughout, I think the hallmark is what Bill Swing said at the very beginning. He said, I have a conviction that this must happen. The religions of the world, just like the nations of the world try to do with the United Nations, but it's a second vocation for the religions of the world to work together for peace. We are connected to wise wisdom traditions, to deep values, to understandings that are different about how we approach God and the divine, but together, what incredible power, profound possibility we can unleash. And I think for me, having worked here all these years, we kind of digest, absorb this conviction. We know it's true. And who knew in 1995 and 96 when so many said, it's impossible bringing the people of the world's religions, this is going to be quite difficult, and I don't think there's really a place for it. Well, guess what? The world actually showed us something different in its story. And as Victor was saying, the United Religions Initiative had the vision from the beginning that it would be people. It would be the power of people.
And there's some people on the screen on our brochure. And Victor, maybe you can run through some of these for us.
Sure. So as we look around and we think about people gathering in what we call cooperation circles all over the world, here on the plains outside of Jerusalem, Jews, Christians, Muslims gather as part of what they call We Refuse to Be Enemies, an event that happens to stand together and, as we say, and exercise the power of we, the power of us together, the power of bringing the peoples of the world together. The purpose of URI is beautifully expressed.
We, the people, religions, spiritual expressions, indigenous traditions throughout the world come together to promote enduring daily interfaith. What is this?
This is our purpose statement. This is the core of the work of URI, promoting enduring daily interfaith cooperation, ending religiously motivated violence, and creating cultures of peace, justice, and healing for the earth and all living beings. A wild idea, but as we see in a world where we are descending into violence that is often connected to religion, being focused on creating alternative models where people live together peacefully, like that circle outside of Jerusalem, is critical to give hope that this is possible.
And let me just say that the genius of that purpose statement is that it galvanizes hundreds of thousands of people now all over the world. We do have, as we said, grassroots groups that we call cooperation circles. And each one signs on to that purpose statement and 21 principles of how to behave into it. And this is the common ground that we all share. So even though the work might take place in Uganda differently than Pakistan, different than in Southern California, everyone is finding their own way to build bridges of cooperation.
Yeah, here's this video. What are we seeing here?
So these are young people in Pakistan, and they are going through a peace-building training program. These are the same young people whom the Taliban is trying to recruit into their efforts, and yet they have chosen Muslims and Christians and tribal peoples to stand together instead for peace in their communities, to build peace across Pakistan, and put their lives at risk to do this work together.
And where are we here?
Yes, now we're in Mindanao in the southern Philippines, and this is quite an important photo because it says at the level that this kind of interfaith work can happen. This is Pakidayat, which is a Philippine language that means basically brotherhood and cooperation. And we have one of our key leaders, a trustee named Musa Sangila, a Muslim, who has been working with other faith leaders to instruct the military, to work with the military on peacekeeping measures in Mindanao.
Why is he giving him a pumpkin?
So I can see that. So this is this beautiful.
It's iftar. It's a basket with fruit and food in it. We can't. It looks like a pumpkin from here.
And I should say that in Mindanao, our people there worked with the rebel leaders, the military, the government, and were a key factor in what has brought about the Bangsamoro Peace Agreement, working with the United Nations, again, URI and the United Nations working together to bring about the recent signing of the Bangsamoro Treaty that finally has brought, at least for now, peace to that region of the world.
Bangsamoro Treaty stops the violence between whom?
In Mindanao, between the rebel groups that were in the southern part of the Philippines and the military, and it was often a Christian-Muslim clash as well, and so we did work bringing all those communities together.
Okay, that last still we saw was, it looks like somewhere in Africa. There we are.
This is Uganda. So we have programs throughout Africa and Asia, around the world, in all regions of the world. But in Uganda especially, I was there recently, we have programs that bring, in this case, women from the 8 Central and Western African countries who have suffered so in violence. Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and these are women who come together having lost family members, having suffered, to bring their communities a sense of peace. Again, Christian, Muslims, tribal folk coming together to say, we refuse to participate in the violence that the world is surrounding us with.
How many nations?
87 countries.
87 countries, United Religions Initiative. We'll come back and talk more with Sally and Victor and find out how you can be involved. Stay with us. We'll be right back.